spoiler for people here. I actually lost the first 40 pounds still eating fast food 6 days a week.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a little spoiler alert for people there.
Still eating fast food 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay. How many meals though? How many meals a day were you eating this though?
Twice.
Twice a day. All right. Wendy's or just like a mixture of different things?
It was a mixture of things.
What changes did you begin to make from the point where you saw yourself, you were overweight and you're like, okay, I'm going to start making these changes? Can you walk us through what that was? Like the things you did or even like the mindset or your approach?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for people to know about me is that stubbornness is a superpower of mine. And one of the things that I looked at when I first started trying to improve my health was, and keep in mind, this is, 2009 ish. So the internet was around, but it wasn't as, what it is today. And there was very little information out there the way there is today in terms of nutrition. And what was out there was basically eat boiled chicken and broccoli. And I was like, no, that's disgusting. And so I wanted to prove that you could lose weight without cutting out those foods. Basically, I started intuitive eating without realizing what I was doing. And so I started making small changes. Like I went from getting the 5-piece nugget with the double cheeseburger and the large fry or the biggie size fry and the large drink to, okay, you know what? I'm going to get the 5-piece nugget and I'm going to get a single burger. I'm going to get a medium fry and a medium drink. And then eventually that turned into, I don't really need these nuggets. Right. So now I'm just going to get the fries, the single and the drink. And then eventually that became, you know what? I'm going to get a baked potato instead of the fries. And I'm going to get water. And then I started looking at other things, like I would go to Subway, which I find Subway disgusting now. But at the time it was there and it was convenient. So I went and I would get like a grilled chicken. And then I would go to like one of the little Asian restaurants and get like a grilled chicken and rice or something like that, which their rice isn't necessarily healthy. They put a lot of stuff in there. But compared to a biggie fry, their rice is healthy, right? So it was like those little small changes over time that really helped me to start to lose the weight. So it wasn't about some big, massive, huge change. Because one of my biggest things that I realized early on, and it's something I teach my clients all the time, is if you are going to drastically change your entire way of eating to lose weight, you will put the weight back on. You have to learn to eat in a sustainable way that allows you to lose the weight, but also maintain the weight loss. Because what's the point of losing the weight if you're going to put it back on?
What did you do with your mindset in terms of approaching this to be able to to create some sort of shift where you could start to like decrease the amounts or the portions or to make other changes in your life?
Yeah, I was very fortunate in the fact that working in retail, where you hear the word no a lot, had kind of mentally toughened me. So when it came time to deal with those mental things, it maybe was a little easier for me than it might be for other people because I already kind of had that mindset of like, if I set my mind to this, I can do it. Right. And but that doesn't mean there wasn't challenges, okay? Because yes, when I first started, there were times where I would eat and I was like, man, I am starving. And I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable when it came to food. And I had to accept the fact that I didn't necessarily need to be full all the time and that it was going to be okay. I mean, I'll tell you a funny story here. There was a time where I actually believed wholeheartedly that I had to go to Chick-fil-A and get they don't have them anymore, but they used to have these chicken, egg, and cheese bagels. And I truly believed that if I ate at home, I was gonna still be hungry. That the only thing that would fill me up was the chicken, egg, and cheese bagel and a hash brown from Chick-fil-A. That's what I believed, like 100%, truthfully believed it. That's silly in hindsight, but at the time, I truly felt that way. So I had to like overcome those beliefs. I had to like tell myself those things probably aren't true. And the thing that made that I think easier for me was I approached everything like an experiment. Hey, you know what? Let me just try some other stuff, give my body a little bit of time to adapt to it and see what happens. Because let's say I do this for 2 or 3 weeks and it's not working, I can always go back to Chick fil A. That's always going to be available to me. So that's what helped me to kind of overcome that. There was other issues like when I first started working with a trainer, I actually went to like a big box gym that was local there and I started working with a trainer. And what I found was that the exercise was really, really hard for me, right? I hadn't like exercised in years. And even doing just like push ups or air squats, just like body weight squats was incredibly difficult. I vividly remember there being one day that I did 10 body weight squats. And then we went over to like this little side room and I was supposed to do some like little wind sprints and like two sprints in because my knee was already starting to hurt from the squats. Like two sprints in, my knee just like buckled and I like went down in front of the entire gym, like just crashed and burned. And so there was those obstacles I had to come over mentally as well. And then on top of all that, because those box gyms don't pay trainers very well, I actually went through about 6 different trainers in a short period of time. And there actually was a point where I was ready to give up. I was going to literally just go cancel my membership and be done with it.